Philadelphia. I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to all across the Delaware Valley. This is the Anthony Gargano Show. We're presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY for the credit union difference. All right. Today is February 19th. And we are now past the Super Bowl, past the parade. And while the high still exists and still lingers, there's an emptiness. There's an emptiness. And it's such an interesting thing that I want to dive into today, which is I can't wait till the start of next season. Now, that's ridiculous on the surface because you want to enjoy the parade. You want to enjoy the title and all that goes with it, right? So the off season is a great off season to enjoy that your team is the champion from now until kickoff of the 2025 season in the first week of September, right? So this should be the time to sit back and just let it wash over that the Eagles are the best team. But I don't know about you guys. I'm searching. I can't do the Frazier Champions League and I'm all in. Like I could watch that a little bit, phrase. You know, it's a great sport and I can watch it, but it's no tingles, right? We're still out of the tournament. There's some good college games, but there's no heightened emotion. See, the problem with football is football gives you a dopamine rush, right? Like football stirs the senses. And then you go back and you're out, and when it's over, you're like grasping. Like the next thing that stirs the senses is the tournament. And then you got the start of baseball. But this period of time between now and the start of the NCAA tournament is a tough time. It's like the wilderness. And especially because the NBA is so stupid that it doesn't have its, it has this all-star break now. Now, I will say I can't wait for tomorrow night, USA, Canada. Like that got circled. Like I can't wait to go home. We got a basketball game, and then I can't wait to go home and watch it because I'm excited for USA, Canada. And truth be told, I've loved this whole Four Nations series. It's been awesome. The only problem is you need it every day. Like sports fans are used to the daily fix of sports. And I feel like I'm in the wilderness without it. So I started to think about next season and how good the Eagles can be. I love the chatter that's out there with Mekhi Becton, because Mekhi Becton is talking about how he already misses the guys. And I do think there's a really good chance that Mekhi Becton re-signs here. I mean, let's face it. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will look at him as a tackle. But if you're Mekhi Becton and you're just part of this O-line, part of this monstrous offensive line that works, I mean, are you in a hurry to leave? You're so much better as a player playing next to Lane Johnson. All right, in Stoutland University. Stoutland University only exists in Philadelphia. If they could somehow keep that line together, and then you're going to look at the defense just get better and better and better with the young players ascending. We're talking, again, we're talking going to be special. We're talking another let's go repeat. Let's go. All of a sudden, that there's a chance for a repeat. I want to get that started now. I'm ready to go. BG, are you ready to go?
I'm not saying that word. After we just
I don't
destroyed the three-peaters.
I want to go repeat.
No, man. Dude, it's rough right now.
It is, right?
We had said, the period to go dry is Super Bowl to St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
I lasted one night.
You went out already?
Yeah. What am I going to do last night? I'm sitting around. Pagan's got some podcast
He
on the
lasted
TV.
one day.
Last one day. I was like,
He
I got to
lasted
get out of the
one day.
house. Yeah. What was I supposed to
You
do?
didn't even give it a chance.
One day. I was like, oh, man.
What happened to dry
It was
post
dry
Super Bowl?
Monday.
Right.
Dry President's Day for
one
me.
day.
That was it.
He lasted one day.
Yeah.
I feel the
I
same
went out
way.
last night.
I'm like, I got home last night. We had a basketball game.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah.
We won.
You had a
which was
revenge
good.
game. You won.
Yeah, good team we played, and we won.
Nice.
So that actually got my juices going, right?
Yeah.
And I get home, made pizza bagels for the kids.
Ooh, I like
Right.
the pizza
Ooh,
bagels. Do you
love a
make
pizza
your own
bagel.
bagels? Do you have like frozen bagels around?
I wanted something quick, so I didn't want to make pasta or anything. So I did. We did the pizza. Well, Tom brought these bagels, and sometimes I do French bread pizza.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Because I
yeah.
have a sauce I already have,
Mhm.
and then I just throw the mozzarella and the pepperoni and oregano and olive oil.
Mhm.
I make my own little pizzas.
Yeah.
And the boys were like, yeah, I'll do the pizza bagels. So I made the pizza bagels.
Cool.
And I'm like, where's my watch?
Yeah.
No,
You're not in on the simulated golf tournaments?
Nah.
Tiger
God,
messing up.
Listen,
You
I
see
hate
Tiger mess up last night?
Yeah, that was so
I
funny.
can't do that. Golf has to be part of the beauty of golf is the course, is nature. I love
agree.
seeing nature.
Mm-hmm.
Like it takes you away. Like you watch a big tournament, and the azaleas,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
right? Like you see that.
You get some
The
ocean,
Masters
some
are-
cliffs.
I mean,
some
Pebble
bird. You
Beach.
hear the birds? I know
Like
they
the
can.
whole part of it. The part of that is hearing the birds and the trees. It's beautiful. Like that's what makes that sport. The minute you put it indoors, it's antiseptic. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
very
it's
cold.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I hate
And I
it.
know they're trying to be cool. They're mic'd up and stuff. But
Yeah, nah. We're gonna break stones. It's just another fugazi. Like, let me try to reinvent something.
did you see Tiger? He's like, how far out am I last night? And he heard 99, but he was 199. And then they're like, is
Brings
he
the
hitting
wedge
a
out.
wedge?
Yeah, he brought the wedge out.
So he misheard.
No, I know.
He
I
can't
didn't
even
pay
tell
attention.
because you're on the screen. He can't tell how
Yeah.
far he is. So they tell him he's 199, but he hears 99, so he hits a wedge, and everyone's like, "Oh!" So he screws up and basically loses the hole.
Yeah.
But how good is he? Because his shot went 100 yards.
It went 100. Yeah. So if
Yeah.
it was a wedge shot, he had it
He
on
had
the green.
it
He was
nailed if
sticking
he
it.
was right. But yeah, he totally misheard it.
Newsflash, he's great. Like,
Yeah.
even in simulated golf. All
Yeah.
right. Like, but like, I just don't get. I don't get why that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't. I really tried to get in on that, and I couldn't do
No, I find it hard to get in on new things.
it. Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
really do. Like I go, like I'm going to try. Like what is the UFL?
Yeah, it's coming.
The UFL, yeah.
I would have more interest if it was now. But once you wait, you're going to lose me. Like I'm going to root for my man Anthony Beck,
Yeah.
Delco's finest,
Mhm.
friend of the show. But other than that, I mean, I'm not.
When is the startup for that? Is that in
it's
like a couple
like-
weeks?
I think it was 6 weeks from the Super Bowl.
Oh wow.
Starting to think, man. I
Like
was
once you get into March Madness, like what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like I'm already past it. Pitchers and catchers is great, but spring training's entirely too long.
The Robo ump. They're bringing it in.
We'll see. See how that looks.
I mean, it looks good at the minors.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't work in the
I
majors.
don't hate it, but
I was thinking today, man. Like I had a buddy who he was a smoker forever, had one hypnotherapy thing, and never touched a cigarette again. And I was thinking, if there's a hypnotherapist out there, convince us that we like the cold weather because I hate going out right now. If I could be mentally be like, oh, I love this stuff, that'd be great, and just some way to make us happy between this period.
My mom's a hypnotherapist. She could do it for you.
She is?
Yeah.
Get her in here.
We need to get the doldrums gone, man.
I got news for you. There's a million things I want to overcome.
Yeah. We could get
All
her.
right. I got many flaws.
Yeah.
All right? I need it for everything.
Yeah, she used to help smokers all the time.
Yeah.
That was
Bring
her
her
thing.
in.
I will.
Bring her in. We got to get it done. Because I don't even know. It's a great idea, VG.
Yeah, get us through this because
I don't know how to get through it. Like,
this weather's just so brutal. If this time period we had nicer weather, maybe
well,
this weather just compounds it.
I looked at it next week. It's going to be
40s.
Yeah, well, close to 50.
I don't know, it's still.
Listen, it's not this
Be
week.
a little-
This week is brutal.
Yeah,
like
horrible these last couple of
15,
days.
I think when I looked at my phone, I walked the dog this morning.
No,
Yeah,
it was.
man.
It was terrible. I had to start the car.
The car did not want to start for
No,
me
I had
this
to
morning.
let the car run. So I go get up. I have to drive Anthony to the bus stop at 6:25.
Ugh.
So
That's rough.
right around
You just drop him
6.
off, or does he sit in the car till the bus comes?
Yeah, he sits in the car till the bus comes.
Any maniac standing on the corner waiting for the bus?
No, it's not on my corner. I got to drive about a couple miles away.
Okay.
So I had to take him over there and just wait. You know, you're waiting. But I started the car. It's like 6 a.m. to get the car started.
Yeah.
And then I come back, and then I start my car because I use Tam's car to take him so I could take Massimo to school. So it's like a busy, cold. Like when it's cold like this, you
It's
have
dark.
Yeah, it's terrible. No, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you. Like you get to this point. That's why this is the most depressing time in the sports calendar. Like the other dead period is All-Star break baseball.
Yes.
But
Oh,
it's
you got
summer.
the ESPYs. Yeah, exactly. It's summer.
It's summer.
You
So
take a walk to get some water rights. You can
there's
do
a
stuff.
million other things to do. Like you know, as much as we're sports junkies, there's a million things to do. You go, all right, whatever. Yeah, I get through it because it's summer. But now,
This is like vacation time. This is like when you want to plan your vacation, get
I
away
see
for a
Baldy,
couple of
he's
days.
Caribbean hopping again.
No sports. You
Where's
can
he
just
at?
go
I
refresh.
saw him on a ferry hopping from island
Yeah.
to island yesterday on stories.
I'm jealous.
yeah, well, not everybody can go on vacation right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
that's true. That's
You
very
know,
true.
Not yeah. When you have 2 kids and you're a startup, it's not vacation time.
The good thing is, I mean, next week we're into March. I was like, wow, we're more than halfway through February. It's short, so next week's like March 1st. I think that turns the page a little bit mentally.
Yeah, I agree. Once you
February
get to March,
is tough.
yeah, once you get to March, because March you deal with the first part of March blows.
Yeah.
But again, then once you get the tournament, once the tournament starts, you're in great shape.
I think it's late this year, though. I think it's like third week of March. It's after St. Patty's Day, I think.
Wow.
Is it really?
I think so, yeah. Not sure.
See, the only thing about spring training is it's a tease. Like the games, like I don't know about you. The first Phillies game that's televised, I love.
Yes.
I have to watch it.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
I don't care. It's nobodies. It's all kids. It's mid-league prospects. Whatever. You go, I want to watch it. Then you watch 3-4 innings. You're like, all right, and then that's it. You're done on spring ball.
I'm a little different. I don't mind it. I'm upset that every game's not televised.
Are you really? You
Yeah,
check
I just
in on
like to
some-
put it on. Just have
I
something to
need
put on.
something. I need it to
Especially
matter.
daytime. Yeah, nice Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, but I want it to matter.
It does matter. You got to scout these players out. You got
You
to see how
can't-
they're looking.
First of all, the biggest fraud is spring training, like scouting. Like other than
I like
knowing
to
how
see if the young kids can hit. I mean, I know the pitchers are working on. So I know they're working
they're
on
not.
stuff.
That's my point. It's
Yeah.
not real.
I want to see the young kids. I like watching the young kids.
Yeah, but the young kids, you really, there's nothing to tell. You can't tell because nobody's at their best.
you can tell
No.
the eye test. You can tell if a kid's a player.
Here's what you could tell. You could tell like live arm, right? Like you could tell live arms.
Yeah, let's see.
Like if you're
Koyo
there,
Aoyagi. What's he looking like?
yeah, I'm out.
You're
Like
out?
I can't
Little
go-
side
like, spring
armor
train-
from Japan.
There was nothing better. No, I like that, but there's nothing. When I was covering baseball,
Mhm.
it was the best to go to spring training because you escaped this weather.
Yeah.
But after a while, you want games to matter. I need games to matter. That's how I am. So I need to get to March Madness.
You're a guy who will watch the fourth quarter of the last NFL spring training game. That matters nothing.
Different.
Yeah,
That's
right.
football. That's
Yeah.
different. It's different. It's football. Now, the other thing is, what's killing us now is no Flyers, no Sixers.
Yeah.
As
that's
much
the big killer.
as I'm annoyed by the Sixers,
Mm-hmm.
like I still would, I prefer being annoyed watching the Sixers than not watching anything.
You'd rather be annoyed
Yes.
watching the Sixers
Yes.
than just be bored.
Yeah, if I'm
Than
going to be
bored.
honest, if I'm going to be honest with you, I would have preferred to have a Sixers game on last night than nothing.
I prefer anger
I
and
plot-
rage than boredom.
Yes, I do. Like it was BYU Kansas. I'm like, it was a blowout. I turned it off. It was like not interesting.
I was on the BYU side, so I was loving it. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yo, that BYU
They're tough
arena is loud. It's
Oh, yeah.
active, man.
yeah. Vi's a big part of that program.
Bringing players in there.
Well, he's a big part. Now he's on a mission in Africa. In fact, I tried to get Vi to come on the show. He watches the show.
Oh, that's awesome.
I tried to get Vi to come on the show to be a guest, but he's really not allowed because he's on a mission. He's on a mission.
Is it a recruiting mission?
I don't know. I have no idea. He does missionary work.
All right.
So
he just happens to
he's
find
in-
these studs.
and he's in Africa. I
Brings
don't
him home
know
with him.
I don't know if he's actually finding players,
Right.
yeah.
but I know he's doing good works.
Yeah. Next year, BYU have like this 7-foot dude from the Congo. Where'd this guy come from?
Vi found him.
Yeah.
Thank God for Vi.
Missionary work.
The missionary hoops work.
Yeah.
That's great. That's fantastic. All right. Let's talk about some of our friends coming up. Kevin Negandhi is going to join us early today. The Brain. Then I'm really looking forward to it. Jonesy.
I can't wait for Jonesy.
Jonesy's in Canada.
Need Jonesy.
He's in a remote part of Canada. So we're hoping that his internet works.
Really?
Right, Andrew?
He should be good. Yeah, but fingers crossed.
Is he in the Yukon territory scouting
I
out
did
some
not-
pond players?
What do you know where in Canada he is?
I did not ask. No.
Yeah. Because when I texted him last night, he said, I'm all right. I'm in. So I was like, all right. I'm really looking forward to Jonesy because this Flyers team, I'm in on the fly. Like the Flyers, I like to rebuild. I can watch Michkov all day long,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm loving hockey. So I'm good. Like I'm in a great place, Flyers.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got some
It's-
new gear. I need a hoodie though. I had a new shirt I was going to wear today. I was like, I'm going to wear a hoodie. I need a good Flyers hoodie.
Yeah. We have that good PHLY. It looks like a
Yeah.
hockey sweater. I love it.
Yeah.
In
The
fact,
Michkov Mania?
I was looking for it today.
Yeah.
I don't know if my wife. I don't know if she washed it.
You don't do no laundry?
I mean, I try to help out, but
When's the last time you put clothes in the washer?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, listen, we all have our chores and duties to do.
Yeah.
Like
I feel you.
we whack this stuff. I do a lot of cooking,
Mhm.
so she does too. She's a good cook, but we gotta whack. 2 kids. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just chaos.
Do the kids do any chores?
Yeah, we try.
Yeah.
I yell at them all the time.
Use a TrueMark Greenlight account. No chores for you in your app. No allowance.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good idea. I got to do that. Speaking of TrueMark, why you hit us with a little TrueMark talk about it?
I would love it because
In
we're going to help
fact-
out people with high debt, high credit card issues from the holiday season, from the playoff run, the Super Bowl run, the party, and the parades. Bills rack up. If you're buying eggs, you're probably putting them on your credit card at this point. So did all that shopping leave you with a credit card balance that's weighing you down? Well, think about this. What if you could pay it off faster and with zero interest until 2026? It's true because TrueMark Financial is offering a zero interest on balance transfers for 12 months. So all your payments go toward reducing your balance and not that pesky interest. So here's the play. Transfer your existing balance from another institution to a TrueMark Financial Visa credit card and take advantage of this amazing offer. But you got to hurry because this ends February 28th. You got to apply by February 28th, 2025, this month. So whether you're interested in earning rewards, cash back, or simply prefer a low rate for everyday purchases, with TrueMark Financial, you can choose a credit card that best fits your financial needs. Visit TrueMark.com/compare for full details and apply today. TrueMark Financial, federally insured by the NCUA Equal Opportunity Lender. Terms and conditions apply. All loans are subject to approval. 3% balance transfer fee applies. Standard rates apply after the promotional rate ends.
All right, let's talk about Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. I know Valentine's Day is past, but that doesn't mean you're free. All right? You got birthdays, anniversaries, and you're going to blink, and it'll be Mother's Day, May.
And, you know, I'm going to disappear for 4 days watching some tournament games. It's good to get some jewelry in the house before I disappear.
You know what? That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a real good idea.
Keep them in a good mood.
What does the pagan like? Kind of, she like exotic stones?
She's more of, she's
Emeralds?
she's really a sapphire.
Sapphire. I can
Yeah,
see
where
that.
like the quartz is kind of like healing and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
All kinds of healing stuff. Yeah.
Well,
She
a
likes
quart can
bracelets,
heal-
and chokers, and
A
necklaces.
quart can heal. A quart
Yeah.
of beer can heal.
Yeah, it does. Healed my doldrums last night.
Golden Nugget Jewelers has it all. All right. Diamond earrings, diamond pendants, gifts for anniversaries and birthdays, and of course, engagement rings. So if you are thinking about maybe a nice spring engagement, looking ahead, well, do yourself a favor. Go see your own at Golden Nugget Jewelers, right on 8th and Chestnut in the heart of Jewelers Row, Center City. You'll love it. I'm telling you to take a walk through the whole process. He's got the largest selection of certified diamonds. He's got all of the great designers like Tacori and Viraggio for this setting to make this ring special and make her melt. GoldenNuggetJewelers.com is where you go. Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. All right. We're momentarily waiting for my man, Kevin Negandhi. He's going to join us. We'll do a little, kind of parade rewind with him.
Yeah.
Like,
I think he came out. I think he was down in town for the parade.
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, he was. The whole, you could sense it, right? Everybody is just
We're
like hungover.
a national story because Howard Stern's got some guys who their wives live in the area, so they've been going to Eagles games and tailgates in the parade and
Who's that?
getting audio. Richard Christie's wife is I think they live in like Collegeville area.
Okay,
Or,
cool.
Royersford. So they've been collecting sound bites and videos from the Eagles parade and the Eagles tailgates. And they have a great thing where they started off with the mayor doing her incorrect chant, and he kicks into the fight song, and you just hear drunken Eagle fans being like, bleep you, man, the whole time. It's hysterical.
It is interesting because the Eagles fans are the new Bears fans. We were kids, right? SNL used to do the thing, the Bears, right?
Yeah.
And they were like the three, big fat guys
Yes.
walking, eating hot dogs. The Bears.
Right.
Eagle fans are the new Bears fans, right? Like the Eagle, except we're just trashier.
Yes. Because Rob was asking Howard, she's like, what is it with Philadelphia? They like to climb things. They're on trucks. They're on roofs. They're on lights. Like, why do Philadelphians like to climb?
Because we're the park apes. Right? Like we are the great unwashed. I mean, that's kind of who we are, I guess. You know what's funny? I was talking to somebody from out of town who we were talking, they had the same kind of discussion. And he's like, you guys are really different, right? I go, what do you mean? He goes, people from Philadelphia are just way different than anybody else. Not New York, not Boston. Because I was like, well, the East Coast. He's like, no, I'm telling you, you guys in Philadelphia are different. And I started to think about it, and I think he's right.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we are very unique.
I feel like we're completely
also
different than New York and
way
Boston.
more aggressive.
We are extremely aggressive.
We're more aggressive than anybody else ever.
Yeah, we lack
Our tone,
yes.
our
we lack
actions.
we lack couth.
Yes.
Yeah. We're, as we say, real. Philadelphians are real. We
Right.
keep it real.
Yes.
That's what makes us lovable.
It is an interesting dynamic of who we are, the attributes of Philadelphians. Let's welcome to the program a great Philadelphian who is, of course, doing big things nationally, ESPN, ABC, our main man, Kevin Negandhi. Kev!
Oh, he's got the big
He's
Dom
got the
hoodie.
big Dom. I love it.
Hey, yeah. Hey, shout out to Art History. This is a phenomenal stuff, man. Like they sent me a whole bunch of stuff, and they were great. So glad to wear it.
I had mine on the other day. I think did you have one on too, right?
Yeah. Those guys are good.
It's the best. It's the best,
Yeah.
Kev. Let me ask you a question because we're on this topic of Philadelphians being unique. All right, like we're a truly unique city.
Special.
You working in a place like ESPN on the campus where there's people from everywhere.
Yeah.
I know you have to get it. Like people see clips of the parade of the Eagle fans tailgates, and what do they say to you about the great unwashed that is us?
You know, it's so funny. I actually love. I love educating people. Let's just put it like that, because I think they go with this like perception. Like I'm at the Sports Center pod the other day, and listen. I'm a very professional person in the environment, but then when the topic of Philadelphia comes up, the whole crew gets a kick out of it because they see that there's a certain part of me that's completely different. So they got into a discussion about the parade, and somebody brought up Santa, and they brought up the whole environment. And I immediately snapped back and I said, first off, Santa deserved it. You have no idea how drunk he was.
Santa.
Yeah, right? Like, so I don't want to hear it. He deserved it. And they all started laughing. And I said, no, I'm serious. Like,
right. I'm not joking.
Let's get some understanding of the situation.
Yes.
It was an off season, and he was trashed, and like he did, and then what it did was it allowed me to get on the even playing field of a conversation with everybody, to explain a few things so they could understand. Because I think if you just put it to the bottom base of it is, hey, the person was actually drunk playing the role of Santa, and understand some context, you'll understand why we reacted the way we reacted, right? And then I go back to a lot of things when people bring up Philadelphia. Oh, you guys are this, you guys that. And I said, okay. And then there was like one guy at the pod. I was like, you're from LA. Explain to me the Dodgers-Giants rivalry. Explain to me what happens in the parking lot. Suddenly, okay, you're from NoCal. There's somebody else. Explain to me what happens, when Oakland gets together and there's a rivalry that was going on back in the day. Okay. So like it continues. Oh, you're from the South. Explain to me how all that stuff that goes on with Auburn and Alabama and the toilet paper and all that stuff. So when you actually reason and relate to them and they can understand that it's not just one place and it's not just one group. We're just passionate. We're devoted. We talk about our feelings. We're not shy about revealing them. I think then they understand that. I can't do that with everybody, but I'm doing it with people that I respect and I think that understand that. I love us, man. I think we're all knuckleheads.
I love us.
That's
a great quote.
I think we're all knuckleheads, but we're knuckleheads because we love it. We're passionate about the place. Yeah, every time I encounter a Philadelphia athlete and they're new to the area, and we're just in a off the record conversation, I just say, just play hard. You don't need to be great. If you play hard, they will recognize that you play hard and they will love you for life. As long as you play hard and you care as much as they care, it doesn't matter. Everything else will fall into place. And I really believe that that's how we identify with our athletes. We want the best from our athletes, but we want them to give a crap about the stuff that we care about. Yep. And that is playing and playing hard. No matter what, playing hard. Why did we love Allen Iverson so much? Why do we still reminisce about him 25 years later? Because all that other stuff on the outside, when he came to the gym for 48 minutes, we knew he was going to play 47 minutes and 30 seconds. And he was pissed off that he was sitting down for those 30 seconds, right? We knew what we were getting every single time. Why did we fall in love with the 93 team? Because we knew that they gave a crap. right? And that's all this is, right? 2017 is always going to be so. They cared. This team, the 2025 Eagles or 2024, they care. That there's something about that. And I have no idea what was the preface of the conversation. It's the direct line to understanding the Philadelphia fan. We are crazy. We love you if you love the sport that you're playing as much as we love that sport.
Yeah, without a doubt. We are unique and different, though, right? Like we are. One part of the conversation was our aggressiveness. Like we're way more aggressive. And like sometimes you don't realize it. Even we're professionals, and I lived in New York and Chicago, and I spent traveling around the world, the whole thing. But there is a party, like when you're competing in something, we're aggressive. Like it could be work competition, and like your tone, like aggression comes out in many different ways. And sometimes tone and body language, it's off-putting to people that aren't like us.
You're right. You're 100% right. My wife says it to me all the time. She's a Floridian, and she talks about it all the time. Like it's how you say it, Kevin. And I'm like, what do you mean? I just thought. She's like, no, like it's how you're saying it. And I'm like, I'm saying it the way I only know. Like I'm talking to you. She goes, no, you get elevated to a certain way. And now I see it in my 12-year-old son. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God. But how I relate it, and to everything is I am passionate. You don't want the opposite. You don't want me to not give a dang. Can I curse? You don't want me to not give a crap. Because if I don't give a crap, that's the worst thing.
Yes.
If I'm engaged, like just understand this. Atlanta is the perfect example. Miami is the perfect example. San Diego is a perfect example. Those fan bases, they have other things. They have other things to do. In Philadelphia, our thing is our sports. It's our connection to our families. Chicago is very similar. I think sometimes Cleveland can be similar. There are certain things that we don't connect with New York. No, because we're much to the point than New York fans, I think.
Yeah.
If we're upset with our players and our team, we get right to it. But I will tell you, look at the Phillies World Series, experience, right? When Harper hits the home run against the Padres in the NLCS, when that 5 home run game, right? Like when we're all in, every single athlete will tell you there is nothing better. There's nothing better to experience than the NFC Championship game when you're beating the Vikings and the Commanders. Nothing. And then when you get a taste of that, you want to bottle that up. And that's what we bring to the table every single time. But then if you dog it like in the opener of the regular season in 2025, when they open up the season Thursday Night Football in the first week of September and the Eagles aren't good that second series, they're going to let the new coordinator know we don't like this entire thing.
Run the ball! Run Saquon!
Exactly. I'd rather be that than, hey, everything's great. No matter what, I just love. No, we're not like that. That's not who we are.
Well, the beauty is, and here's
we got a problem, man.
Yeah, here's the beauty of it, right? The beauty is that in a world that's been homogenized and sanitized, but really homogenized, where everybody's kind of like the same.
Yeah,
we still have flavor.
No doubt. No doubt. I literally have no idea where the jumping off point of this topic started, if there was something that you guys saw, but we absolutely have flavor. And whether it's the flavor you like or not, we don't care.
Well, I think we're saying like we're kind of special, and I want to take it back to like you brought up the rivalries all around the country, and they exist, and they're similar. But we are a next level special, and no one can comprehend. You brought up Santa Claus. In the scheme of the world, it's justified to us to pummel Santa. But to the rest of the world, this is Santa. Even if it's a drunk guy, he's being festive and trying to be Santa.
He wasn't drunk. He was just raggedy.
Yeah, he's raggedy. And we publicly shame and pillar him with snowballs. So the rest of the country, That is like
Wait.
what? Even if it's a
Wait.
bad Santa, how do you
Man.
throw snowballs at Santa Claus? But that's what
Let
we
me
do.
get it straight. And, like, Santa wasn't drunk, or was the whole fan base drunk? Like, was he wasn't drunk? I thought he was drunk. I thought everybody was drunk that day.
No, in fact, we were in the book, The Great Philadelphia Fan Book by myself and Glenn Macnow.
Yeah.
We talked to the real Santa, and he was not drunk that day. He was just a bum-looking Santa, like a bad-looking Santa. He was not drunk, and it was the mood of the crowd. Remember, the Eagles were bums. Like, this was like back in the day, bums.
Yes.
Right? So they were awful, and so the crowd was in a foul mood, and they were in no mood for a raggedy-ass Santa.
But Santa would make people happy, you would think. Any kind of Santa, if you're in a bad mood, you see Santa, but not here. That's why I think it's a story
Jingle
that lingers.
bells, Santa smells.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, we got guys eating horse poop after a game. Like, this is a special kind of special here. Like,
about that. I actually, I did. I was working at NFL Live and Sports Center the day of the parade, and I had a ton of FOMO, by the way. But I had committed to those two shows no matter what ahead of time, and everybody was shocked that I was at work. I was like, "Wait a second! I told you I was coming in." They're like, "But we would have."
I thought you were there.
I thought you were down
I
here.
thought you were down here.
No, I did not come down, and
I thought I saw you post something.
really proud that I didn't come down because I could represent us on NFL Live that day, and I could represent the city
Even better. Yeah.
doing Sports Center, right? And I remember somebody at the pod at NFL Live, and I was just like, just as long as nobody eats the horse's poop. And they turned around and looked at me like, "Are you serious? Like, you're normalizing that?" And I was like, "No, it actually happened, and I'm being serious about the whole thing. We're just not my one of my cousins lives in South Philly. He took his 1-year-old to the parade of millions of people, and I was like, "Why are you taking your 1-year-old?" He's like, "He's got to experience it." I said, "He won't even remember this. Like, I'm more concerned about your safety." And he's like, "I don't care. He's going to experience this." And he's like FaceTiming with his 1-year-old with me watching the parade. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is only us. This is who we are. Like, this is how we are. And it's generation into generation to generation. I love it.
How much do you despise Paul George right now?
We were going so well during this conversation.
he loves to torture himself, all of us, with the Sixers talk.
Well, I only bring it up because, like us, I'm sitting here Wednesday, and I'm like, all right, it was awesome, but now I'm looking around going, what do I got? We're still, a ways away from March Madness.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
We're still a ways away from opening day. And I'm looking around, and, thank God for the Four Nations. I've been enjoying that. But other than that, I mean, what do you got to look forward to? Mr. Pinky.
By the way, I'll be at the Four Nations tomorrow, hosting Sports Center from there in Boston.
Oh,
dude.
nice.
Yeah.
I got Jonesy coming on. That's awesome.
It'll
That's
be awesome.
really good. Dude, let me tell you something. I've enjoyed that thing so much. Dude, you got the rematch, man. USA, Canada. It's great stuff.
Especially, I want to see the first minute of the game, considering what we saw in the last.
The flights were the best. Yeah, man.
Right.
USA went all flyers on them, man.
Yeah, 6 p.m. Sports Center tomorrow night, live from Boston.
I love it. I love it.
This is where I'm at with Paul George, and my 12-year-old will be really upset if I say this. But the other night, after 37 minutes, and he scored 2 points. The next morning, I literally just look at my phone, and my 12-year-old texts me, "Blank Paul George." You can really like literally, that's all he said. There was no good morning. There was nothing.
I love that kid. I love him.
And I was like, how do I talk to my 12-year-old about this? And I had been talking to him all season about everything. And I just said, listen, in the end, I don't know what he's dealing with. I said, all we care about is effort. And I said, I can't even justify it. I can't. It's just, I said, Brandon's just not good. and it's not going to play well for a long, long time. But the 12-year-old understood and got right to the point. And it breaks my heart because when the deal was signed, I knew one thing. I knew that there was only one other team that the Clippers gave him that 3-year offer. The Sixers gave him the 4. And he was looking for that 4th year no matter what. And I specifically told my son and whoever was around when we talked about the signing was, I don't think he stays for 2 years. He got the 4th year, and I don't think he stays in Philly for 2 years. And I did not think that it may last a year. I did not think that it would be this bad. And it is maddening, man. Maddening. Because how else can you explain it? I can't. I certainly can't. I just want to put Tyrese Maxey in bubble tape and make sure he's taken care of. That's all. Bubble wrap. Make sure he's all right. That's all I care about.
Yeah, dude. I gotta tell you, I hate this team. All right. I can't look at Paul George. I can't. He just infuriates me.
It's tough.
It's bad. Listen, I mean, I feel part of me feels for Embiid because, I mean, he didn't ask for all this being banged up. Like, you can talk about him being in better shape or whatever. I get it.
Yeah.
But this team, and then Morey's panicking. You go get Quentin Grimes, the worst guy next to Maxey because he dominates the basketball. Like, they can't play together. It's infuriating, like, the whole thing. All right, enough for that. I know you got time crunch, but here's the deal. Yeah. You're doing something at Temple. This is a big deal. You and Woj, what's going on here?
And I appreciate you guys bringing that up. So next Tuesday night in North Philly at Temple University, it's the first of its kind. It's never been done before in college athletics. We are running a fundraiser with 2 collectives, one from St. Bonaventure, one from Temple. And Woj obviously left his fantastic, incredible job with the ESPN covering the NBA to basically be the GM of St. Bonaventure with their basketball program. An unheard of, unprecedented decision by Woj because he cares about St. Bonaventure. And this is the way of college athletics. You have to raise money through NIL before the revenue bill gets passed through, right? So as a result, you've got to raise money and funds and not just, find the next recruit, but maintain your own guys because these programs are spending a ton of money. Woj and I had a great connection immediately at ESPN because of the Atlantic 10. He grew up covering John Chaney at St. Bonaventure. I grew up following John Chaney and later covering him. So we used to have these conversations about, Temple coming to Olean, New York and all that stuff. So we loved A10 hoops back then, right? And Woj can tell you, Pepe Sanchez, he knows like all the guys, Karcher, he knows all the history of Howie Evans and, Tim Perry. So we bonded like that. So this whole idea came up that, St. Bonaventure is still in the Atlantic 10. They have a Philadelphia road trip next week. So why don't we do a collective on both sides? The Tough Fund at Temple, and I think it's Unfurled at St. Bonaventure coming together and for this 6:00 event on February 25th at Mitten Hall at Temple, where we would have a panel, educate people on what NIL is, and it could be Temple alums, St. Bonaventure alums, or anybody. And then afterwards, you get a VIP event where a ton of auction items, meet a handful of celebrities, get the chance to talk to Woj. Woj will do a handful of stuff. We've got auction items. I'll do a Zoom with you for 30 minutes. You have a young, student that wants to get in broadcasting. I'll do a 60-minute Zoom. Woj will do the same thing.
Yeah, we'll donate. We'll donate. You come to PHLY and the whole thing, and we'll this whole day here with all behind the scenes.
And what I'm going to do is on my social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, I'll put out the link. It'd be great to see everybody. And again, first of its kind. And if you love Temple hoops, I'm telling you, and you want to change things, this is how you help. It's going to a collective that goes directly to the student athletes. This is how you help. You can't just sit there and say, well, things back in my day. Hey, the landscape has changed, and Woj and I are trying to change it for our alma maters.
It's awesome. In fact, I talked to Coach Fisher today because their game got moved up to 3:00
Yeah.
because of snow. In Charlotte. They're expecting 1 inch of snow. And so they moved the game to
1
3.
inch?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, here it is.
That. Yeah, thank you, Andrew, for popping that up. That's some more details on it as well. I'm going to put it out there today. Again, it's next Tuesday, February 25th. Woj and I will be at Temple University at 6 p.m. and then the VIPs at 7:30. Come on out, man. It's a small little donation to help support what we're trying to do.
Well, I love Woj, too. He was at the Star Ledger when I was at the Post. So we used to hang out. So we'll get Woj on the Pump It Up, too, on Monday. He's the best.
By the way, best, man. And he's so competitive. Like, I appreciate you having him on. You'll have fun with him, man. He is the.
Yeah. We go back. He's a great dude, man. Great dude. You two together. Fascinating stuff. We'll pump it up, Kev. You know that. We love you, man.
And VG, appreciate you, fellas. Take
Thanks,
care.
my brother.
See ya.
There he is, Kevin Negandhi.
That's a great night.
How about that?
Tuesday night? What else are you going to do better on a Tuesday night?
Bonnie.
Yeah.
How great is that? All right? How great is that, man?
That's a good little rivalry, too, bad. Like Temple and the Bonnies.
Yeah.
Bonnies were always scrappy.
They were.
Yeah.
They were scrappy, St. Bonaventure.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? They were. Who was there? Some of their players.
Pain
I'm
in
trying to
the
remember. Who was it? Who was that? They had a couple. I remember they had a kid from. Did they have the kid from Atlantic City? Who was a good ball player?
I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah, but that Temple St. Bonnie was back in the Cheney days.
Yeah.
That was a great rivalry.
Bob Lanier's a Bonnie?
Bob Lanier, yeah, he was.
Wow.
Yeah, he was back in the day. But he was a back in the day Bonnie.
He is a
but in the 80s, 90s, they had some players. It was. Yeah, I know we got the brain. He's making a brain segment.
Is that what that was?
Yeah. Was that was a brain thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never
Charades.
get my sign language. Every time
I'm
I try
terrible at charades. Never good at charades.
You're not a charades guy?
I'm a wordsman. You need the words.
I can't. Yeah,
He's
I'm
moving around gesturing.
I'm with you. I'm with you on the
That wasn't work
words.
for me.
I'm a word.
You got
catcher.
it, though. You got the brain. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you did this. I mean, I kind of figured to say the brain was ready. The Temple St. Bonnie's. That's like my St. Margaret's Our Lady of Hope rivalry.
Oh yeah, it's like,
My man Ernie, the coach of Our Lady of Hope. We had the game last night against him. So he's a good coach, Ernie. Good basketball guy.
Ernie's a good basketball coach name.
Yeah. Ernie's a good man.
Ernie's a good coach.
He's a good man. He said you should do a show on how bad the refs were. Ernie was annoyed at the refs. It was God bless them, right? I almost got teed up too, but there was Massimo got hacked, and then I felt bad because they were like, older people. God bless them.
Yeah.
Still at it. What do you expect, right? You're older people, and it's sixth grade basketball, right?
Older people.
But I was so upset because Moss got hacked, and what is he gonna do? That kid should be in jail for that. And then Ernie's yelling, and he almost got teed up.
You gotta watch the Patino special. He's got some good ways to harass referees. It's good. Like if he was you, like minutes later, if he came near, you'd be like, "You blew it. You admit it. You blew it. Admit it." He said that, and he's like, "Just admit it. You blew it."
I said that to the one rep. I kind of like that. I was like, "Come on, he got killed on that play. Like he did, right? You got to call the foul there." Anyway, let's go to the break.
Brain. Red, the brain finder.
There he is, La Brain. What do you say, La
Good
Brain?
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my friend. How you doing?
All right. St. Marcus, we won outright last night. We were dog, and we hit the money line.
Oh, what kind of money line were you getting? $1.80?
Probably. Yeah.
What you lose by last time?
We lost by 30, like close to like 25.
Whoa! You're a lot more than $1.80 then.
Nah, because we just had we were better than that. They're good, but we were better than that. The game just got away from us. We were down 14-4 to start the game.
Last night?
Yeah, first quarter. I look up,
Wow.
down 14-4. Relax. We're down 7 at halftime.
Are you coaching, Anthony, or no?
Yes. My team.
Okay, man.
Me and my
You gonna
me
get
and
an
my boy
extension or
Kevin.
no?
What's that?
You getting an extension?
Yes. It's our third year, Kevin and I. We're a duo.
That's really fun. It's funny. There's
I
nothing.
freaking love it. I love every second of it.
Nothing better.
We have a little back room where all the chairs are. So behind the stage. So we bring the kids behind there at the halftime to talk to them. Like, you're in this game.
I love it.
You're only down 7. We're in this game. All right?
Well, I have a question for you.
You were embarrassed last time. Let's go.
Cuz Calipari.
As a parent,
got a treadmill
as a
running
parent,
on it at halftime.
what do you like best? Coaching basketball, baseball, or football? Which is your favorite as a parent?
Oh, I love them all, dude. I love them all. I mean, sidelines is awesome, right? I love being on the sidelines.
Yeah, basketball is my favorite.
I'm saying football is awesome. I love basketball, but baseball's great too. I love coaching baseball. Anyway, I don't know. I can't pick. So, Brain.
Yes, sir.
What do we got? There's like nothing going on, man.
Well,
give me some
couple
sports
college
today.
things.
You got anything good college ball?
I do. It's interesting, Anthony. Look, I follow. It's funny. I actually follow Vandy more than the average bear. As you know, my kid goes there. Had a really nice year. Really nice year. They're playing at Kentucky, who, to me, I think Kentucky's actually a pretty decent team. The line's actually been bet down to 4.5. I think that's too light. I thought this line should have been stone cold 6.5. I bet Kentucky laying 4.5 at home against Vandy. Look, we talked about that. There was like a bunch of games last night that fit the criteria I liked. BYU against Kansas.
You had Michigan
State against Michigan State was playing, I think, Purdue. Wisconsin was against Illinois. When you have teams that are somewhat comparably matched at home in college and the spread is low, again, it's hard to win on the road in college. It just is. I love taking the home teams. Here you have teams. I actually think Kentucky is better than Vanderbilt. They're at home, laying 4.5. Again, I think it's flat out too light. On another game, Anthony, no, look, I love Alabama. I think Alabama's a really, really good team. They just had their all-in game guys against Auburn at home, biggest game of the year. They lose. Now they're facing a Missouri team. I think, again, the SEC
I like
guys,
that Missouri squad. They're good. Yeah.
Well, the game's like Missouri's laying 1 or Pick'em is between Pick'em laying 1. I like Missouri at home. This will be Missouri. Missouri already beat Florida, by the way. This will be Missouri's all-in game, so to speak. This will be their storm the court game. I just think this is going to be a really tough spot for an Alabama team that got so amped up, emotionally ready for that big game against Auburn now, and they let it down, and it just didn't happen. Obviously, easy to be deflated. Anthony, we always talk about it. It's not just who you play, it's when you play them, and you get that at a PhD level. I think it's a tough game, a tough spot for an Alabama team. I'm very bullish on Alabama. I think they definitely can make a run in the tournament. I think they can even get a number 1 seed. But I like Missouri here. I think Missouri wins this one by 7 or 8. Let's call it.
I like that.
I like it. Hopping on the backs of that game, that Alabama-Auburn game, I like Arkansas tonight, plus 15.5. I think Auburn, they're coming off that big win. I think they win, but I don't know if they beat them by 15.5.
Not bad, BG. Arkansas is not a bad team. Arkansas is in my opinion, Arkansas has some decent wins. Yep. Calipari's done a decent job. They are, again, I think I have them rated in my ratings like a top 35 team.
I mean,
so
they beat Kentucky. That was a great game.
They're a quality. They're not a bad team. And as you talk about VG spots, this again, Auburn is. But I'll say this about Auburn. Auburn has been. I mean, that's a team that's really passed all the tests this year in me. I mean, I was very impressed that they were able to get that big
Florida's
win.
nasty.
Florida is equally nasty. Florida wins by 20 every game.
Listen, again, Florida's been incredible all year. It's funny, if you're objective about it, the 2 most consistent teams in college basketball this year have probably been Florida and Auburn. In terms of just from game 1 to right now, just gay in, gay out, giving a professional performance. Auburn's only, can't even call it an egg, but when Florida, you beat them pretty badly in Auburn, that was one. And then Auburn, I believe, at Tennessee, Florida at Tennessee, they were just really, really bad. But besides those 1 game each, both these teams have been so good all year. VG, that would be a lean for me, but I really do think this Auburn team is quite good. So not a game that made my criteria, but I would be on that side.
Real quick, how about Temple Charlotte today at 3? They moved it up. And Temple, tough
They're
loss on
14 and
Sunday.
12, Temple. Yeah, I mean, look, Temple is, again, it's Charlotte stinks. I mean, Charlotte's really, really, really bad.
And Temple needs a win. I just think, what's the line?
They do, but again, and they do need a win. You're absolutely right. They do need a win, Anthony. But here's the thing, as I always talk about, these games on the road to me are just never easy. And the line's cheap. I mean, the line I'm looking right now is down to 1.5. I think it opened at 2.5. I'm not mistaken, but the line is only 1.5, so it is light. Look, from a power ratings perspective, I actually have Temple as a play here. I do. For me, as again, Tom, it's whenever I take a road team in college basketball, I have to really just feel pretty good about it, because I think for whatever reason, the younger kids, I don't know what it is, the travel, whatever, not as opposed to the pros. I think it's just much more difficult for the road teams to win in college basketball. But power ratings wise, I actually did think Temple should have been closer to a 4 in my ratings. So, you know, it's only laying 1.5. Temple would be my side, but I couldn't quite get there.
Hey, Brain, let me ask you, because another game I was thinking about betting was Penn State tonight. The line looks thin. Penn State's got 7 straight losses, or I think they're only a 1.5 dogged in Nebraska. Nebraska's a decent team who could have like a look-ahead game to Michigan, their next game at home. So I don't know. I was leaning Penn State tonight.
Well, it's interesting. Nebraska started off great this year, VG, and I had Nebraska the other day against Ohio State. Like, they didn't get to home for me. They didn't get it done. I don't think Nebraska's a bad team, though. I mean, they started off really, really good, but they've been not really as good as of late. But Penn State traditionally has been a tough team at home. They've been one of those teams that always plays well in games like this, in spots like this. To me, power rating wise, again, I had this line being a little bit higher than it is, but if I had to play this game personally, I'd be on the Penn State side at home against the Nebraska team that is just, it's now been a while that it's been a little bit, it's probably been the last like 13, 14 games. Nebraska has kind of really fallen down. Lean here, Penn State, but not a game I'm betting. Again, the 2 I like best, I told you, I do like Missouri to win tonight, and I do like Kentucky to cover that number against Vandy. I think that's too light at 4.5. I really do.
There you go. All right, well, we got a good game tomorrow night, man. USA, Canada, and the 4 nations.
What do you think of those fights?
What did you think of the fights? I love it. I love that tournament, man. Love it. It's fantastic. Yeah. Brain, have a great one, my brother. You're the man.
Appreciate both you guys.
Appreciate it, buddy.
You guys. Good luck.
There he is, the Brain. Let's talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook and Casino app, because the Brain brings us. He's the ambassador of the Bet Park Sportsbook Casino app. You heard him on his college plays. Don't forget the casino, because that's my man. Like VG, a Baccarat man.
It's great for nights like last night at the bar, watching the golf, playing a little Baccarat.
You got Baccarat, you got all the hot online slots, you got live dealer blackjack, live dealer roulette, live dealer craps. And again, all those slots, and have some fun. And there's always another way to win on the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. So you got to check it out. All the futures and sports and everything else. But the casino games are a lot of fun. So make your downtime fun time. And new users, if you download the app and you're down in the first 24 hours, you get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. We're also brought to you by Rothman. That's right. The great people at Rothman Orthopedics. Is your joints aching? Hands
in this
cramping?
Weather, yes.
Back out of whack?
Yeah.
Neck out of whack?
Yes.
Pretty much.
How's your neck?
Oh, I have horrible shoulder pain.
Yeah. Well, Rothman's got you. That's right. At Rothman Orthopedics, practicing specialized care has been their passion for over 50 years. Their mission, high-quality, compassionate, and affordable care rooted in research. Research leads to new treatments and better outcomes. Each Rothman doctor is laser-focused on their specialty. Hip, knee, spine, you name it. They have a team for each body part right in your backyard. So you can cross over that defense, drain those jumpers, root for your teams like no other fans in the country. They're Rothman Orthopedics, and they specialize in you. We're talking specialized orthopedics and you for 50 years. Visit RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY to learn more and make an appointment today. Rothman Orthopedics. This portion of the program is, of course, always brought to you by Rite Aid. RiteAid.com for the store and pharmacy nearest you. All right, now I'm pumped up.
Yeah, how are you not? I'm pumped up. I love it when this guy comes on.
First of all, he's the best. We love him.
I mean, how many executives come on with us?
Well, they do, but he's forthright and fun, and I mean, I love this. I'm all in on this rebuild.
Yeah.
I'm just all in on it. Let's welcome to the program our man, Flyers president Keith Jones.
Yeah.
Jonesy!
What's happening, cuz? How are you, buddy?
Good to see you, pal. Good to see you, man. Where are you at? What part of Canada are you at for the break?
I'm actually in Toronto. I'm staying right across from the airport, actually, where that plane flipped over the other
Oh my
day.
God! Yes.
Yeah, so I'm right there, jumping back and forth, seeing a bunch of OHL games with Danny, looking for some players of the future. So and there's a lot out there. It's been there's a lot to see.
I got to tell you, I've been, first of all, I've been loving Four Nations. I got to get your opinion on it. It's been awesome. And of course, tomorrow night is the rematch. Oh my God. This tournament has killed it in ratings. It's so good for the league.
Yeah, I don't think it could have gone better. And then after what we watched the other night in that U.S. Canada game with the fights early on, and that was involved in the game, and then just watching how well some of the best players in the world have gone head to head, it's gone way better than my imagination pictured it going. So I give the NHL and the NHL Players Association a lot of credit for coming up with this idea. I think it can get even better. I'd love to see, teams like, the Russians get back in there at some point so we can watch Michkov and Kucherov and all their star players. Draisaitl's not in this one. There's still some star power that's not there, but overall, it's been an incredible success, and it's going to be wild tomorrow night. Can't wait to see what the ratings are for that game.
I know. I mean, what's kind of cool is, right, so it's the NHL Four Nations and NBA All-Star game, and Four Nations wins out, man. How about Ersan? Ersan played well on Monday or the other day.
Yeah, he did. That should help him a lot, too, because he's quietly had a pretty good season for us. We haven't had a lot of help in, the backup goaltending position. But Ersan's numbers are, relative to where we're at in the standings are very good, especially in the last couple of months. So I'm excited about where he's headed. I think this will only help his confidence performing that well on the international stage and, beating a U.S. team that didn't have a whole lot to play for, but still had a lot of outstanding players in the lineup. And he found to win a game on the road in a U.S. city and made a number of spectacular saves in doing that. So he's had some really good games lately for us as well. The game in Utah going back a couple of weeks ago, one of those where he deserved a better fate. We didn't win it for him, but he gave us every opportunity to do that. So, yeah, I'm excited about the way things are going for him.
So let me ask you the big story. You are an Eagles fan, and the run, the Super Bowl, the parade. Part of you just kind of let it go, and in your mind think about what it would be like.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I've felt that way since I arrived in Philadelphia as a player. And we had the one good run in 2000 where we lost in the conference finals. And your imagination starts to go a little bit as you're getting closer and closer to having an opportunity. And that year, hoping to compete for the Stanley Cup, which we fell short on. But, it's right there in the back of your mind. Probably a little further back for us right now just because of where we're at. Yeah. The evolution of where we want this team to get to, but it's never lost on us just how difficult it is to do and how many, star players you need to do it and how many tough decisions you have to make to get there. And the Eagles have done all of that. It's a great blueprint for any of the teams in our city to try to emulate, to try to, get back and find a way to do what they've been able to accomplish. It's incredible to be the one team that's left standing at the end. And hats off to what they've done. And we certainly hope that we can do that for our fans in the future.
Well, this is why we love this rebuild. Like, do it now, go through the pain now, because what the Eagles have accomplished is relevancy, right? Like, you're able to get a shot every year. Like, you're in the mix. And I think that's kind of the whole idea of what you're trying to do, is to achieve a point where, hey, you're in the mix every year.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And, looking back at what the Eagles have been able to accomplish, they've changed course at different times. They've got rid of, a potential star quarterback in Wentz. They readjusted. They've drafted extremely well. They've made trades. They've found players that weren't excelling in the, situations that they were in, but found a way to have the right eye to find those guys and put them in the mix here in Philadelphia. And those players have blossomed. So they've done it in a lot of different ways, but deserve a ton of credit for just how creative they've been and how they've stuck to the plan. And those are things that we want to make sure that we do as well.
So March 7th deadline, you've already been busy. Let's talk about the trades, all right? And, take us through it with you and Danny in the first series of moves.
Yeah, we moved two players that are very popular in our locker room, and Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee. But it's all about the future for us in that regard. It's about, we brought in a younger player in PHLY that we think has the potential to turn into a decent National Hockey League player. He's showing promise this year. He's young. He's on a lower contract, which fits what we're trying to do right now. So excited to see what he can do. Kuzmenko, we get a free look at. He's unrestricted at the end of the year. He is an extremely talented player, though, and fun player to watch, and should be helpful on our power play and bring a few things to the table, and also offers him the opportunity to show us what he has if we want to keep him in the fold moving forward. Most importantly, we open up cap space, and we need to. We have to make the tough decisions, or it's really kind of what, in some regard, the Eagles have done. They've made tough decisions. They've let players go that were good players, were popular players, were still, in many cases, in the right spot in their career as far as their age, but they decided that they weren't going to be there if they got the opportunity to win the Super Bowl. We have to make the same type of decisions, and that kind of falls into that regard. It's unfortunately there are financial implications with certain contracts, and we just didn't want to go there. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do with that money in the future. Don't know if it's the near future or a little bit further down the road. When the right player presents himself, we want to be able to pounce and get that player.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it made sense. I mean, you looked, and both Farabee and Frost, I don't know. I mean, I was expecting more, that tick. Like, it when you know talent, right? And you could see it. Like, you see flashes, but when they're not consistent enough, you could just project down the line. And I'm with you. I think you need that flexibility in their cap space. Now, I'll ask you, I mean, March 7th, I mean, I know I don't want you to give any intel or whatever, but what you could tell us, we know about Lawton, Ruotsalainen, guys are going to have interest already, reportedly have interest. Do you expect to be busy before the deadline?
I wouldn't be surprised, but you never know. Those players, it's a compliment to them that there's so much interest in them and their game, especially at the point that they're at in their career. So I give those guys full credit. They've played themselves into a position where teams are interested. Whether or not the right deal comes along I can't predict that. But obviously we're working the phones as hard as we can, but we're not shopping the players. We're just listening because we're still in a pretty good position of power with both of those guys. They both have term left on their contract. They're both, quality individuals that have done an outstanding job. in our locker room and on the ice, which is, obviously very important. So we'll wait and see what happens with it. But there's definitely interest, and there's a lot of teams that recognize that where we're at and where we're headed to, and that we may be a team that's still looking to add more assets for the future. So we do attract a lot of attention. There's no doubt about that.
Well, this is so interesting, this portion of this rebuild, because this is really about discipline, right? Like, not trying to rush it, because there's times when you look and you go, oh my God, you had a couple play, you had this guy, maybe you had that guy, and then you could maybe speed it up. How hard is it, like, just the discipline to stay the course?
It's difficult, and even last year it was tough because of how close we were to making the playoff. Even closer than we were, than we are right now. We were in a playoff position, I believe, just right before the deadline around it, and we had to make the decision to move Walker, who was a very good player for us, and got another first-round pick in the future. And doing that deal, those are the type of things we have to do. We could have made it. We could have squeaked into the playoffs. We would not have lasted long. It would have been a good experience, though, for our younger players, which you can never knock. And in hockey, you always look at it and say, well, if you can make the playoffs, you have a chance to, win the Stanley Cup. People think back to 2010 when the Flyers went on that incredible run in winning Game 82 in the shootout. It's not highly likely, though. And sometimes when you have a run like that, it's not sustainable. And then you have a long period of time where you're not competing for, a Stanley Cup. So we want to make sure when we get there, we're going to be there for a while. And much like, the Eagles, since they are the talk of the town right now, much like they have done, they've been a playoff team consistently. They've had chances to win, and you want as many chances as you can to get that ultimate prize. And we're not built that way just yet, but hopefully in the near future, we have a team that's like that and can be highly regarded around the league and have a lot of opportunities to try to win the Stanley Cup for our fans.
Well, and look, you're collecting assets, and that's huge. How do you see this draft shaping up? Because that's going to be a party here.
Yeah,
a lot of picks.
I'm excited. I'm excited about what's out there. There's a lot of quantity. There's not the high end. There's not a Celebrini necessarily draft, but there's a lot of really good quality players, and there's a lot of good, positional players that we like. That centermen are out there. There's a decent amount of defensemen as well, but there's some really good centers throughout the first round. So, and then it gets deeper even after that. So there is a lot of quantity, which is good, especially when you have 7 picks in the first, probably within the first 50 picks this year we'll have, and maybe we'll have more at the deadline too. So we're not shying away from the fact that we think there's some really good players there, and we're searching everywhere. Our guys are working hard. Our amateur scouts are in their glory right now because this is their time, and they've got a lot of chances. If you look back just over the last decade or so, the Flyers have not had very many picks. We're often trading away first, second round picks, trying to kind of mend it instead of fix it for the future. And we're not mending it. We're trying to get it right for the future and making sure that we're going to be a competitive team for a long time with a lot of good, difficult decisions to make, because our players are going to be competing for jobs, within our own organization.
So let me ask you about a couple kids. Luchenko, the Jet, how's he progressing in your eyes?
He's done really well. He's really heated up lately offensively too, which is something that we really were looking forward to him doing. Kind of a broken year, and we probably contributed to that in a little bit by having him stay with us for the first 4 games. He's a very young guy. Like, he had just turned 18 after the draft, and showed so much in camp, though, with his speed. He's a unique talent because of how quickly he moves up the ice. I think he's got a really good brain. I still think he's young. I think he's going to continue to develop. And I think in three or 4 years from now, we're going to really see what we think is a heck of a center iceman that's going to help us when we're one of those teams that's competing all the time. So very bright future. And this year, very good to see him really start to heat up offensively for a team that's not very good in Guelph. He's kind of their main guy. He's the captain of that team now, and demonstrates a lot of different leadership qualities that should help him in the future as well.
How about from your alma mater, that Alex Bump? What do you think? I hear a lot of good things about him.
You're doing your homework, buddy. That's good. That's good. He's a 5th round pick that has really done an outstanding job at Western Michigan. He was going to go to New Hampshire, I think, and then the coach had been removed, and he decided he would change and go a different direction. And then the coach at Western Michigan is a good friend of mine named Pat Ferschweiler. That's an outstanding coach, and was a former teammate of mine when I went to school there. So he helped persuade Alex to go to school there. It's been a major benefit for him. He's their best player by far. He's a very good offensive player. He's good on the power play. He uses his strength down low in the offensive zone very well, wins puck battles, does a lot of things that in some games we lack. So I'm looking forward to seeing, exactly what he brings to the table. But he has a pro game already, and we should see him in the near future. I don't think he's going to be a player that's going to stay all 4 years at Western Michigan. I think we'll, work hard to try to get him out of there and get his pro career started. And he's got a lot of potential. Really, really happy about the way that he's progressed.
Oh, I like that.
Hey, Jonesy, can you talk about what you liked about Jacob Peltier and if we'll be seeing him soon? Does he have his visa all cleared?
Yeah, finally. That was unbelievable. Yeah, the poor kid, he's a really excitable little guy. He's got a lot of energy. He's a team first player. He's got the back of all of his teammates. He's going to give you full effort every game. He's a hustler. He's got obstacles to overcome because of his size. But he's done that and really started to play well for Calgary this year after being sent to the minors, clearing waivers at the start of the year, came up and then kind of established himself as a regular player in their lineup. I do think there's a lot of potential there. I think Torts is going to love the way that he plays. And I love a guy that plays with energy and passion and loves the game. And he's got all of those qualities. So, as popular as the guys were in our room that have left, I think Pelche and Kuzmenko both bring in a lot of kind of lively personality that can go a long way in helping fill the void of the guys that left the room.
How's it been with Beachcroft? How's he, handled it? And I mean, he's just so enjoyable to watch. I mean, it's great because you're a Flyer fan. You have something to watch every night. Like watching that kid, it's just special. How's his assimilation been?
It's been way better than I thought it would be, to be honest with you. Tough. Like he's tough-minded. He is, he can get scolded and it's not going to affect him. I mean, it's pretty impressive actually for a kid that age to jump in there and just kind of, he's got the will. He's like a little bull out there, he gets hit.
Yeah.
He can take a hit. He recognizes that he has more to do and more to work on. And he's the type of kid that will do everything he can to be great, which I really appreciate. And he's already got a skill set that obviously is conducive to establishing himself as a star player in the league. But I think he's recognized that this league is hard and the number of games is difficult. How much you have to put into it on and off the ice is challenging as well. And he's never played this many games before. So I'm looking forward to watching how he feels after a good break. This should serve him well. And the last 25 games of the year should be fun to watch him go. And I'm like the fans. I love watching him play. So that's,
what I love about him too is I love that when you guys are playing Washington and Ovechkin's on the ice, like he wants to perform for Ovechkin. Like I love, because to me that's Kobe trying to impress Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's funny how the great players love to have that inner competition against other star players, and obviously Ovechkin's one of the all-time greats, and we hope that we even have Michkov in the same breath with him near the end. But that's how the kid's wired, and I do think that's going to serve him well. in his career, and I'm really happy he's a Flyer, and really looking forward to all the things that he can bring in the future as well. We need to get more help for him, and but having him in the fold is important, and having him here now, getting a year under his belt with Torts' coaching is really important, and I'm really appreciative of the way the kid has handled his first crack at playing in the National Hockey League.
That's cool. How's the goalie situation in the system? I mean, the kid in the KHL looks like he could be something special.
Yeah, the Zavragin that's playing over in the KHL is really good. I mean, I'm really excited about what he's going to be. And he's out of that 2023 draft where Michkov went 7th and Bonk went 22nd, and Zavragin was in the 3rd round. Bjarnason was in the 2nd round. So 2 good young goaltenders, one playing in Canada in Brandon in the WHL, and the other playing in Russia. Both are really important pieces to our future. Bjarnason, we should see him maybe at the end of this year, and then for the start of next year. But he would go with the American League, and it's going to take him some time there.
Yeah,
it could take 3 years. Like, you just don't know with goaltenders.
Yeah.
But Bragan's got 2 more years over in the KHL, and I'm really thinking that there's something special there too. So that draft will be a very important draft for us as far as looking down the road in 3, 4, 5 years. Barkey's still a part of that draft as well. Cole Knubel's a part of that draft. There's some real players that have the potential to have an influence in the National Hockey League that are going to come out of that draft. And we're hoping this draft is very similar to that, especially with the number of picks that we have.
That's awesome. My brother, this is great. When you coming back home?
Come back on Friday morning.
Nice.
We got 4 games to watch here. 1 in Brampton and 1 in Barrie, and then we'll head back. So
it's awesome. You loving it? You loving this piece of it?
I love it all. I like every part of it. It's an enjoyable experience, and most importantly, I've been a fan of the Flyers ever since I arrived with the team. So really looking to reestablish our franchise amongst the league's best, and recognize that it's going to take some time.
Yeah. We're excited. Listen, we're enjoying the process. Like, it's a good process. I don't want to even use that word, but it's a good thing. This is an enjoyable time. It is, and it will be special, man. I believe it. I believe in it, brother. Keep it up.
Thanks, pal. Good to catch up with you guys.
Always great, brother. Always great. We love him. Keith Jones, Jonesy.
There's nothing better than having hope. And
I know.
I got a ton of hope for the Flyers.
Listen, I have to tell you, I enjoyed the Sixers process.
Yes.
Like, looking back, now obviously you want it to bear fruit and you want to be a contender, but there's something about, you either got to, and years ago, I remember a baseball GM telling me, you have to sell one of 2 things: a championship, a shot at a championship, or hope. Like, that's it.
Yep.
Anything other than that, you're in trouble.
Spot on.
Like, if you're mediocre, right? If you don't have any players, but you're decent, if you're fringe around the playoffs, you got nothing. If you got no young no youth, you got nothing. Unless you're a great team that's constantly replenishing, you better have young talent.
Yep, it's 100% dead on. And for so long, that's how it's been with the Flyers, where they've just been middling. But now,
look, I like this. I mean, listen, I thought Farabee and Frost would both be better than, listen, we are always going to overrate like what you got. But I remember Farabee going, all right, well, he could be something. And both he and Frost, I agree. I want the money.
Yeah, there's this offseason, lots of draft picks. They got a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, that's the Eagles. The brilliance. And listen, we've given Howie, loads of credit throughout this whole thing, putting this roster together. But it's just the brilliance of, hitting on your young players. Like, this Super Bowl doesn't happen without Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell,
Yes.
and Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. Let's face it. Four of those guys, integral pieces, like as great as Barkley is and AJ and the way, Hurts played their O-line, they don't win it if not for those four the young pieces on defense.
100%. And I'm curious, you know how it is when you have a position of need. They have a glaring need for a center.
No, of course. I mean,
know,
you're waiting for it.
I still would rather them just stick to their board, not reach, get the best players available.
Yeah.
And, I'm really looking forward to this draft and offseason.
Well, listen, at some point, I think your first-line center probably won't be here for another 2 years. And it's probably going to be a free agent.
I would think so.
Right? Like, you're probably, the way you're going to build it is, from what everybody tells you, Luchenko, Bump, like those guys are, top 6 forwards, but not first-line guys.
Yeah, they're still learning the game.
Second-line guys. Like,
with Michkov's skill level, you need a center, like an accomplished, good center.
Yeah, and I think that's where you need a veteran. Like that's where you got to see who shakes out, who's a free agent, and the whole thing.
Yeah,
but like having money, like he said, I want to be ready to pounce. I want to hear that.
Yeah,
like I want to hear Joji's. Like I want to hear that. Like I want you to pounce, get stars. Right, like when you go all in.
I thought you were going to say it.
What?
In the Brett Brown voice. I was like, don't say it.
Star hunting. Star hunting. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my
I remember that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hate even using the word process.
I know, because
I hate even using it.
But it was,
but it wasn't joy. Like I can't lie. Like I loved, man, when the draft came around, like being pumped up, like as much as Simmons was a false messiah. Mm-hmm. Listen, Embiid wasn't. All right? Embiid was a great talent. Like, yeah.
And the process didn't get a fair shake because the league stepped in and gave us the Colangelos. Derailed
it a
little
lot
bit.
Of mistakes.
Yeah.
They just, unfortunately, as the thing unfolded, they made a lot of mistakes, man. The Fultz. It was funny. I was talking to a friend of mine. He's going to join us this week. And we were talking about, he's an NBA agent. We were talking about GMs and roster building and the whole thing. And he's like, the Sixers have been a sucker. Like, they've been a sucker. But Danny Ainge needed a sucker to take Fultz.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, they are.
Paul George was a sucker signing.
There's an air of desperation to them.
Yes.
They become the suckers.
They were so desperate to win. I mean, they had this city breathing down their neck, and they needed to make adjustments, and they just went in the wrong direction.
The shame is that, he's just got no pride. Like, Paul George got no pride.
No, he wanted the money. Flat out, wanted the money.
Like, dude, like, even Harden, right? Harden just didn't have his legs. Like, Harden would have worked, but he just didn't have the legs.
I'd much rather have Harden right now.
Well, that way, you'd be banging your head on the ceiling.
Yeah, I know.
But he just didn't have the leg. Like, if it was Harden 2 years prior, that would have worked, I would have believed. He just didn't have the legs.
He's another guy, though, too. If his head's not right, they're just so weird.
I know.
These NBA guys, and I was looking at,
I know.
Someone's throwing out the idea of, 4 nations worth the NBA.
Yeah.
But you look at who the NBA would put out there, and they're old. LeBron, Steph, KD, they're old.
There's Chris Paul.
No young juice.
Well, you got Ant.
Yeah, but I don't know if he'd be a starter. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just feels like the faces of the league are old. Faces of the league take a lot of nights off.
Be your Olympic team, essentially, is what you would have go out there.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what it would be.
You know what the shame is? But when Luka gets moved, the first thing you start to think about is, oh my God, because if you're gonna watch, you need something,
yeah, you do.
Right? Like this team, watching this team's dreadful.
We got
I'm not even
Maxey,
looking forward to them coming back. Well, I love Tyrese, but now with Grimes, he don't have the ball in his hands, and now you're gonna have to deal with Embiid playing spotty. It just
makes no sense. He obviously needs a surgery. Right? Come on. His knee's not right. Just shut it down. Stop dragging us through this.
I know. It's torture. It's absolutely
Reports aren't
torture.
coming out there that he needs a surgery on his knee. And no one's really refuting it.
I know.
It's like
it's.
How about instead of the process, we call it the new approach?
Yeah. I like your idea of renaming it.
We got to find
the new
something
approach
else, right?
does not work.
The method.
The method. Yeah.
The method.
Yeah.
The method.
The method to madness.
We got Franny coming up. I'm going to talk a little combine draft action. All right.
Is he going to the combine?
Yes, he is. Oh my God, he's on top of it.
I love the combine.
Yeah,
I like watching in the afternoon.
I know. I was thinking about going. We were going to try to go, but we're still working through our budget, and we got a couple other things, special projects we're going to be doing. But Franny's going to join us coming up.
I'm okay skipping on Indianapolis.
Franny Films. I mean, it's a great place though. Like the combine itself.
Yeah,
like not
sure.
Indianapolis,
Sure.
but they have the Indianapolis. All you have is one steakhouse. And
it's great for me. I don't eat beef.
Right.
Sure.
And the steak and shake.
Yeah, perfect.
Right? Like that's what they're known for.
I'll be eating instant noodles.
Two good spots for you, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Steak and shake is a good burger. It's like a steak burger.
Oh, I'm in on that.
It's
I'll
a
eat
fast food joint.
What do you mean a steak burger?
So it's like a
Angus, right?
Yeah, it's a steak burger. Like it's
it's ground meat, right?
I can't explain it. It's a different type of burger. It's more of this.
It's not like a piece of steak on a
like
farm.
shredded steak.
No, it's not shredded. No, it's a good burger. It's actually a quality burger for being a fast food joint.
All right.
I gotta
get some images.
So anti-beef.
I gotta get some images
beef.
of this.
I mean, what?
I'm not anti-beef.
give me
That
steaks,
doesn't
burgers.
sound good.
I can eat steaks and burgers all day long.
Well, a good burger, I'm tempted by. This steak burger doesn't sound tempting.
Steak burger, like steak burger. Oh,
that sounds good, man.
Yeah,
you don't even know what it looks like. It sounds good.
Yeah, but it just sounds good.
Like
Caramelized onions on
right,
there,
like
cheese.
Like a big chunk of Monty steak on a bun with some onions. That sounds horrible.
Steak burger, man. It's good
That's what it
burger.
is. That's
Steak
what it
burger.
is.
Come on, bro.
I gotta find a picture.
Steak fries to go with it.
Yeah, steak fries. I'm in with.
Steak fries are good fries.
That's a
meaty
great fry. Yeah, man.
I like a steak fry.
Like nobody does the steak fry anymore.
You're
don't
right.
find
Find
You
that.
are right.
It's a great fry. I always argue. I think the bro doesn't like it because it's too potato. I love the potato part of it.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah,
Too meaty for him.
yeah. Give me a steak fry with
man.
a steak burger.
Or even a wedge.
Yeah,
A wedge.
Yeah,
Potato
like
wedge.
A potato wedge.
I go crinkle cut fry over potato wedge.
All right, tell us about some glat.
Glat. For all you fellas with the receding and thinning out hair, there's hope for you. Glad Hair Restoration by Morgenstern Medical. Established by the late Dr. Paul Glatt, now part of the Morgenstern Center under the direction of renowned plastic surgeon Ken Morgenstern. Doctors Glatt and Morgenstern had a bond where they were friends, they were colleagues, they researched on projects together, they worked in the surgery room together. So what makes Glad Hair Restoration by Morgenstern better? Well, it's the same peerless approach to care and the same expert team and same unmatched Glatt results that you've been known and expect. It's under the direction, I said, of Dr. Ken Morgenstern. Each member of this team brings over 30 plus years of industry experience. Hair restoration is all they do, so they are specialists of specialists. Glad Hair can help during all stages of hair loss with leading edge treatments for prevention and restoration, including laser light therapy and those non-invasive TED treatments. Each patient receives a complimentary one-on-one consultation to pinpoint your best course of treatment. And a caring patient advocate will work with you from your first phone call to your last follow-up because they know it's a challenging, emotional, stressful decision. Glad Hair isn't just about restoration, it's about innovation. Their breakthrough treatments really do dramatically change lives. Change your hair, change your life. Bald is now optional, so if you want to improve how you look and how you feel about yourself, Glad Hair has the right treatment for you. Regain that confidence. Visit gladhairmctr.com or call 610-980-4000 to get started. Get that hair.
All right. Let's talk about Parks Casino, Street Road, Ben Salem. My casino of choice, action, excitement, headline, entertainment. That's it. Concerts, comedy, MMA, boxing, state-of-the-art Excite Center. That's right. Thousands also of thousands of slots, live table games, state-of-the-art sports book, beautiful poker room, collection of award-winning restaurants. Parks Casino, this is how you win Pennsylvania's #1 casino. Again, they have everything. Tickets on sale now for these headliners. March 7th, Scotty McCreery, American Idol.
Just give me 5 more minutes.
This is his favorite part of the show. You know that.
Oh, I love
Good
it.
is when you ham it up.
Yeah.
How about March 8th, magician Michael Carbonaro?
Pick a number between 1 and 3.
1 and 3? How hard is that?
Yeah.
Come on, Mike. March 22nd, country superstar Lee Bryce.
There's a rumor going around about me and you.
April 24th, live.
Lightning crashes and
A new mother cries.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What's the other one? I can feel it coming back again. Is that
that's it. Yeah.
May 16th, comedian Larry the Cable Guy.
Get her done.
June 27th, comedian Trevor Wallace. July 12th, comedian Mark Norman. Don't forget dinner and drinks before the show. Parks Casino .com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino. This is how you win. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Now, joining us, Franny Films.
They do not crave food nor drink for nourishment, for they exist solely on the glow of the all-22 monitors. They are the Leatherheads, and he is Franny Films.
Films! What do you say, Films?
Ant VG, what's going on, guys?
Franny.
I got excited. I saw him yesterday.
Oh, I know.
First time I saw him in a while.
You tackled him.
Yeah, I want to
It's my first time in studio. The show I did, Bo, Zach, and I, we did like a free agency preview. Who's coming? Who's going? Who's staying with the Eagles? And we were talking. I was like, this is the first time the three of us had done a show together in studio since before the Rams game in the playoffs. Like it's been a while since we all three of us have been in there together.
Well, you were at Senior Bowl, and then you're at Super Bowl. So you guys have been moving around.
Yeah.
So first time I saw you. There's something about I just want to tackle you. I want to tackle you.
It's the leatherhead, the leatherhead mentality. I got to tell you though, like I'm getting ready to leave for Indianapolis Monday, and I got on as you guys were talking through. I feel like a little besmirching from Indy from VG there, Ant. Like he doesn't like Indy. I love Indy.
You love Indy? Well, you would. You don't go outside. It's just football indoors. I mean, it sounds like your kind of town.
Yeah, you can walk the whole city through they've got all the tunnels above ground to avoid the cold. And look, they've expanded the restaurant scene there. They've got a little bit more now than just than St. Elmo's and the Steak and Shake. So there's options available.
I went to was it Carneseca? Who was? Oh my God,
Lou Carneseca.
Yeah,
St. John's.
I did a trip to Indy, a Sixers trip, and I went out to dinner. No, it was Seton Hall, PJ Carlissimo.
Oh.
So PJ has an Italian restaurant, favorite place, and it was actually very good. So I went to dinner at this Italian restaurant, and you know me, when it comes to Italian food, I'm very
solid chicken parm.
No, chicken parm. Come on, dude, with the chicken parm. Get the hell out of here with the chicken parm. Everything's chicken parm.
That's fake food.
It is. But it was a good spot. I'll get the name of it for you.
It was I actually have gone to a couple places. Was it like there was like a hole, if not a hole in the wall, but it was like really, it was off the beaten path, like brick all over all on the inside.
Yeah, actually
I've eaten there once. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, and funny because PJ, who did I go to dinner? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, but it was good. The Steak and Shake. Tell him about the steak burger. It's a good burger.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great place to find Andy Reid every single time you went out there. He would be there because that's the thing is like I would say like when I first started going, my first combine would have been 2011 now, and you know it was
really
yes,
I'm impressed.
Yeah, that was my first combine was 2011, and you know look the options back then. Yeah. Pretty limited, I would agree.
St. Elmo's,
since then, it has expanded, but it used to be like, all right, you go to St. Elmo's, you get some shrimp cocktail, and then you hit the bars, and then at night, that's when you go to at Steak and Shake because they'd be open until like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Right.
But you'd find, the coaches, everybody would get a milkshake on their way back after, after being out of the bar for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, at St. Elmo's was always like the bar was always a good spot because all the agents, coaches, everybody was always hanging at the bar.
Is that the place the movie's made after?
No.
St. Elmo's Fire?
Well, no.
Oh,
no.
All right.
They do. It does have the shrimp cocktail. You're talking about fire.
Sauce. They talk about that sauce.
That'll melt your face off if you don't do it right.
Yeah. All right. One thing to put the Super Bowl to bed. All right. After pouring through the tape, give me something that was not obvious to the naked eye that you were just blown away by.
I don't know if blown away by is the way I would describe it, but to me, after watching the game live, it felt like Spags' approach was, we're going to load the box and stop Saquon. They really didn't load the box. I actually think that it was a sound game plan from Spags going into trying to stop the run, where their safeties were very aggressive, but they still played vertically. They still played deep down the field. And then they just said, hey, you know what? At first sign of run, we're going to attack, and we're just going to rely on our guys to be able to win one-on-one. The Eagles' offensive line just honestly struggled blocking some of those interior players. And then again, the tackling from the Chiefs was really sound on the back end. So I think the idea that, hey, you know what? The Chiefs, they loaded the box to stop the run and left guys one-on-one. They towed that line a little bit more than what we had seen from defenses in the second half of the season against this Eagles offense. So credit to Jalen Hurts and still being able to kind of navigate that, understanding, you know what? Even though it's still too high look pre-snap, they're still being really aggressive. We're still going to have the ability to take advantage of those one-on-ones on the outside.
Spags, in fact, a little program, is going to join us next week.
Oh, nice.
To go over the Super Bowl. So we're going to go over with Steve from
That's awesome.
The opponent's standpoint. Yeah, I think the one thing he didn't do was go nickel a lot. I think he stayed base a lot in his defense. I think that's what was the difference against the run.
Yeah, I think that they just feel comfortable when they get. I think we talked about that leading up. Was when you have Leo Chenal, he's been one of their best run defenders, and they had packages in nickel where they could get him on the field, but they also didn't want to pull Nick Bolton or Drew Tranquil off the field either, just because of their sideline to sideline ability at linebacker. And so it was. Look, when you go up against this Eagles offense, you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place where you have to pick your poison. How do you want to line up from a personnel standpoint? And then philosophically, how do you want to play it? And so I think they tried to really kind of, thread that needle where we're going to play with heavier bodies, but we're still going to play with depth and just rely on our guys to win one-on-one. Really, to me, and I'm interested to hear what Spags says next week, but to me, it came down to them not having the horses on the outside to contend with AJ and Devontae.
Well, I mean, the other thing, too, is, to me, what really won the game, and yeah, the Eagles offense did its part, but look at the short fields. Look at the fact that they were on the field, the Kansas City defense was on the field so much. The Eagles defense dominating that line of scrimmage is what won that game. That's what, because it helps everything, right? Field position. It helps to wear down the Chiefs' defense. Game came down to the Eagles' defensive front, really front seven.
I mean, the Eagles' defense was on the field, I think, in the first half for 21 plays. Yeah, and for context, that is a really, really low number. If I'm ever in a bad mood, if I'm sad, I'm upset, I'm pissed, whatever, I'm just going to go find that shot of Nolan Smith just standing up Trey Smith on that pull in the second quarter and just stonewalling him in the backfield for Amaro Ajama TFL on the right. It was one of their only run plays in the first half. Nolan Smith, the violence that he showed on that play, it just encapsulated what that defense's mindset was going into that game, where they were just going to bully the Chiefs up front, and they were just able to dominate from snap to finish in that game.
It was so fascinating, too, because Mahomes usually has that, sixth sense to find some sort of space to operate, right? That to buy him that one split second to make a play. And he pirouetted and he tried everything, and there was nothing. I mean, he was literally in a straitjacket. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah, and I think that, again, it goes to the coverage on the back end. I mean, there were times where they're bringing Xavier Worthy in motion, and they're going to run him on a vertical route down the field, and Quinyon Mitchell's there step for step, forces Mahomes to check down, and then he gets to Kelsey, and he's like, all right, he's my second option, but it's 2 versus 1 in the middle of the field, and Cooper DeJean is there with Reed Blankenship. All right, now I got to get to my third option. He dumps it off to Juju Smith-Schuster, and he gets tackled for 2 yards, right? Because the tackling is so good. And again, it was just more of the same of what we've seen from this defense really for the large majority of the season.
Cooper. And Cooper's the best, man. Dude, he's man, that kid, what a player. Like the fact that he's so physical, and him in the middle of the field, it was such a difference. Like when he got into this, when he started playing, man, everything just took shape.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. Big picture, because it feels weird that we're starting to spin this forward since they just played a game 10 days ago. But looking forward to next year, if Darius Slay is not back, would you want Cooper on the outside, or do you want to leave him inside?
No. And again, he could play on the outside, right? But no, I need his presence in the middle of the field. He's too good of a tackler. He's too good in the middle of the field. I need that. I keep him where he is.
I agree. I think, look, when they're playing in base and there's only 2 corners on the field, maybe then it's Q and it's Cooper DeJean out there and he's not coming off the field. But when they're in sub, you want him operating in the middle. I think he was just so good in that role this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's look ahead because you're going to be at the Combine. What are you looking for? Let's start on the some of the names that you're anxious to see. And just kind of get a closer, up close look at them.
Yeah, so I get in on Monday, and interviews, press conferences start on Tuesday, and we'll have coaches and GMs speaking on Tuesday and Wednesday. The players start on Wednesday, and they go all the way up through Saturday. Workouts start Thursday, and it takes me all the way to the end of Sunday. So it's especially once we get to Wednesday, Thursday, it starts to be like early mornings and late nights. But I love the access that I get to players. I love the access that we get to coaches and to scouts. So being able to have those conversations, that is vital for me. The first exposure we're going to get early in the week with players is going to be with the defensive line and with the linebackers. So that will start on Wednesday morning, and then I'll get to see them work out in Lucas Oil Stadium on the field on Thursday afternoon. I think the first drills start at 1:30, and so I think the broadcast starts on NFL Network at 2 or 3 o'clock. And so, for me, all eyes will be on the front seven, which is great because that's obviously an area where I think that the Eagles could address early in this draft when you look at who's going to be hitting the open market and free agency in a few weeks. So Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, you start to look at some, could they find a replacement for Bryce Huff and try and pick up some of his snaps? Brandon Graham, what is his future? So, I think that the defensive line, by the time we get to next Thursday, Eagles fans should be tuning in. And honestly, it's one of the strengths of this draft. I think when you look, especially on the interior, the defensive tackle class, I don't like throwing out words like generational, stuff like that, but I would say this is a abnormally strong defensive tackle group when you look at the depth, when you look at the talent at the top. And so no matter what you're looking for schematically, you're going to find it. And with the edge rush group, I'm interested to me, like one of the things I love, everybody gets involved with like the 40 times in the testing, and that's absolutely important. But I love going into the dome. I've been doing it now. Like I said, my first Combine was in 2011. I post up at basically the same spot now for the last several years. I sit over by the broad jump area, and it's right in front of where the positional workouts happen. And so while everybody's the 40-yard dash, that stuff will happen. Those guys will do the jumps, but after that, that's when they start doing all the position-specific work in the middle of the field. And for me, what I get out of it is just being able to watch these guys go through all of these drills back to back to back to back, and you just kind of get a sense of their movement, their athleticism, and just the way that they're put together from a body type standpoint.
Yeah.
So being able to see the best of the best, apples to apples, right? There's no hiding anything, in this kind of environment, in this kind of situation. So I love being able to make that comparison between all of these players. And so to me, it's all eyes on the front seven early. Then it'll be DBs when we get to Friday's workout. Then it's offensive skill, quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and tight ends when we get to Saturday. And then on Sunday, it'll be the offensive line. And so that'll be the order next week. But I love every single step of this process.
Hey, I do too, and I always like watching quarterbacks. It's just quarterbacks are just fun. So give me your kind of view on this quarterback class, because it's interesting that if you need a quarterback, it's not that I don't think he's there.
Yeah, I mean, at the top, you definitely have to squint a little bit. I am a believer in Cam Ward from Miami. I do think that he's got starting ability. Honestly, like a few of these guys have starting ability. It's just a matter of like
not right away.
Yeah, like how confident are you that you're going to be able to get that out of them early, right? And so I think when you look at Cam Ward, that's probably the one you feel best about. When I say you, I mean me. To me, I feel the best about Cam Ward. I just think when you look at the quick release, you look at the athleticism, the ability to create, the arm talent. He did some really good things in the second half of games down the stretch, bringing that team back, putting them on his back.
In fairness to him, they had no defense. Their defense was horrendous.
Yep, no question. And look, he also like turned down the knob in terms of how often he was turning the ball over and putting the ball in harm's way this year. But this kid's played a ton of ball. He started in Incarnate Word as a 0-star recruit, played there for 2 years, then went to Washington State, tore up the Pac-12 for 2 years. Could have come out last year, would have been a day 3 pick, probably like a 5th or 6th rounder, but goes back and was lights out from the jump. I remember watching the film the first Sunday of college football, the day before he went into the swamp against Florida. They were underdogs, and he ended up beating Florida on the road in a rivalry game where he was phenomenal. And just from Jump Street in a new offense, seeing him operate was really, really impressive. And he carried that through the majority of the season, like you said, without that defense to really back him up. So I think when you look at Cam Ward, I feel best about him. Obviously, a lot of eyes will be on Shedeur Sanders, what he looks like in the workout. To me, the guy there are 2 other players after that, though, that I'm more intrigued to see. Like, I want to see what Jalen Milroe looks like throwing the football. I thought he was a little bit up and down in Mobile.
Dude,
if I'm being honest.
I mean, he's such a fascinating dude, because the problem is you get past the first read and it's a nightmare. But man, he's got a great arm. He's so raw. He's a phantom. Man, he can look like horrible, awful. Yeah. Remember the bowl game against Michigan? He was lost.
Yeah, like, you watch him against that first matchup against Georgia, and he was lights out. Then they go to Vanderbilt and lose like the next week. So I think when you look at Milroe, like I would have loved to see him go back for another year, in that offense.
Dude, I don't know why he didn't. He did himself a disservice. You're going to get paid. I don't understand why he rushed. He's a kid that needed to go back.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is that he's a phenomenal kid. Everything you hear about him and everything I've seen is he's a phenomenal kid off the field. And when you talk about the upside, the arm talent, but also like just an electric athlete on top of it.
God.
I know Jim Nagy from the Senior Bowl. He posted it was it might have been last year before going into his first year as a starter. It was after the Jahmyr Gibbs year when Gibbs came out of Alabama, and he said something at a pro day. I was like, oh, Gibbs probably the fastest guy on the team, right? And so someone from Alabama said, no, the fastest guy on the team is this freshman quarterback, Jalen Milroe. Yeah. And, Gibbs ran 4.3. So I think when you look at Milroe, like that's the kind of electric athlete you get, at the position. The tools are absolutely there. And then on the other side of the equation is Tyler Shuck from Louisville, who to me, like when I watched him for the first time in early December, I said, this guy's got the ability to be one of the best quarterbacks in this class. If you told me that he became Kirk Cousins down the road, he's a mid-round pick, a third-round pick, and then 3 years from now, he becomes a starter, would not shock me whatsoever. I think to me, like he's got the most pro-ready tape in this class, where you just feel good about the floor.
I agree with that.
Yeah, the way he navigates a pocket, the way he handles pressure.
He's got a good delivery. It's technically sound. Yeah.
The big thing though, 7th-year senior, will be 25 years old as a rookie. I mean, he came in, he was at Oregon first. He was Justin Herbert's backup. Like that's how long this kid's been in college football. So you got to get past that part of it. But the tape is outstanding.
How about Kyle? How about McCord? Because he's rising, and I love the kid, man. In fact, we're gonna have him on the show, and I love the kid. Listen, man, he went to Syracuse, and he threw the hell out of the ball all year long, man. He had a great year.
Yeah, look, they had like one of the top passing offenses in college football this year. I think when you look at McCord, what impresses me most, honestly, is that he was basically run out of town at Ohio State, right? And it was, he was kind of the scapegoat there in terms of how things fell apart for them late in the season. And so to see a guy bounce back from that and to have the level of success that he did this year, I think speaks a lot to him. And honestly, going and seeing him throw live down at the Shrine Bowl, that was my first trip this year, last month, going back and just seeing him live, you could see, all right, like this guy was a 4-star recruit coming out. You can see the ball comes off his hand really well. There are things that he's got to improve on from a decision-making standpoint, things that certainly to clean up, but I do think he's a draftable prospect, certainly, especially when you look in this class. I could see how, because it's going to be a beauty in the eye of the beholder kind of thing here with this group. I could see how somebody could start falling for him.
Yeah.
It's great that the Giants have a top 3 pick and it's a mediocre quarterback class.
I know.
Love it. Hey, Fran,
they're stuck.
Yeah,
they're stuck because the thing is that regime right now, they have to marry one of these guys unless they go and they swing a trade for Matthew Stafford or somebody. They can't go in with a bridge type quarterback like their version of like Tyrod Taylor. That can't be the answer for them because they're on thin ice with ownership, right? They have to have someone that they can cling to and say this is our answer moving forward. And so whether it's Cam Ward, who, that seems to be the early buzz, that's who they like. If it's Cam Ward, if it's Shador, or if it's one of these other guys, they got to find someone to walk down the aisle with.
Hey, Freddie, real quick while I got you here, I looked at some mock drafts, who they have the Eagles taking. So if you have an opinion on these guys, can you give it to me real quick?
Lay it on me. Let's go.
Pro Football Focus has edge rusher from Ohio State, Jack Sawyer.
Yeah, it's way too early for me for Jack Sawyer. So I've got all my notes up on allphly.com. The draft database is there. I've got him graded as a backup. I mean, he had a great year this year. I just don't know if he's got that juice that you want for a first-round edge rusher.
All right. Sports Illustrated, Nick Scourton, edge rusher, A&M.
Scourton, he led the Big Ten in sacks last year, 2023 at Purdue. Transferred down to Texas A&M this year, and he put on a little weight, playing for a new system. I don't know. Yeah, look, he had the frame to add it, but didn't always look great, this past year. That said, I like the player. He's a guy that wants to run right through you, a power and leverage rusher, play the run, the effort's there. I'm interested to see what he looks like up close next week, though.
All right, one more. NFL.com has safety from Georgia, Malachi Starks.
I love Starks. To me, though, that would be a pure, best player available type of selection there from Georgia. So you're adding another Bulldog into the mix there, and that might be part of the joke there from DJ. But Malachi Starks, a really versatile player, has made some outstanding plays on the ball. He'll come down and play in the slot, but he does a great job playing from depth. So I love the player. It would just be a matter of all right, does that mean that you're moving on from Blankenship next year? Does that mean you're moving on from CJ Gardner-Johnson next year? That would, you have those kind of conversations, but love the player.
Yeah. Franny, great stuff. We'll be bothering you every day from the Combine. We'll do the Combine report, all right? So you'll have
I'll be there. Looking forward to it, guys.
Get some food reports, too, from down there. So you want the players, I want the food reports.
All right.
Listen, there's a taco joint that I love down over in Indy. There's all kinds of stuff we'll get into. So, yeah, we'll talk it through.
Yeah. Thanks, my brother. Great stuff, Films.
All right, see you guys.
There he is. Franny Films.
He's so good at that stuff.
You want to know about the Indianapolis?
Well, we're going,
It's not like not like Bourdain would go to Indianapolis.
I mean, maybe he
Sights and
has.
sounds,
Maybe he
man.
has. I don't
The
know.
smells.
If I'm in the neighborhood, is it worth stepping into? I don't know. Right now, I would say heck no, but maybe Franny can change my mind.
Yeah, no. I mean, you're not going there unless it's the Combine's there or the Final Four's there.
Well, yeah. Is it a city to go to for the Final Four? I lean no right now, but maybe.
All right, time now for the Rite Aid back in the day moment. Back.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Last year, this day, Phillies, big move. I think we were all in on it. Signed a free agent. Whiz Wit Merrifield.
Yeah.
What a stinko Rooney he was.
Yeah.
Here.
I was excited for it.
Yeah,
I was
man,
like,
oh man, what a steal! This guy's a professional hitter.
with the Royals, he was.
I know. What happened?
He was horrible, man.
Horrible.
Man, he was without.
Such a disappointment.
He was without a swing.
Yes,
he was terrible. My God.
Yep.
Just awful. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. was fun.
Yeah.
Jonesy rules.
I love Jonesy.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Great job, Frazier! Everybody, have a great day. We love you. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.